Okay, this lesson is on Chapter 3, Integers. First thing that we're going to start off with is Lesson 3.1, Chapter 3, Lesson 1, which is Identifying Integers and Absolute Value. Okay, so first topic is identifying integers. So the directions say, name an integer for the given situation. So an integer is a positive or a negative number. So number 1. 10 feet below sea level. When we look at this, we look for an important word that's going to help us solve the problem. In this case, the important word is below. Below sea level. 10 feet below sea level. If something is below sea level or below, it's going to be a negative number. So for this is going to be negative 10. Next one. Number 2. The football player gained 5 yards. Gained. That's the important word in this sentence. Gained 5 yards. That is going to be a positive number. So either positive 5 or you can just write it as 5. Same thing. Number 3. Cindy lost 4 pounds. The important word here is lost. Lost. In this case, we're going to have negative 4. She lost 4 pounds. Okay, second topic is absolute value. Absolute value is the distance a number is from 0 on the number line. Now, if I said, what is the absolute value of 2? What we would do is we would start at 0 and we would count how many jumps it takes to get to 2, the distance. 1, 2. Okay, so the absolute value, which is denoted this way with 2 bars on the side, the absolute value of 2 is 2. But now I wonder if I said, what is the absolute value of negative 3? Again, we start at 0 and we count the jumps from 0 to negative 3. 1, 2, 3. So the absolute value of negative 3 is 3, or positive 3. It's just the distance from 0. So, absolute value is always positive. It is always positive. That's a very important thing to remember. It's always positive. Okay, so here are some examples. So, number 1. What is the absolute value of negative 4? It's just the distance from 0. So the absolute value of negative 4 would be 4. What is the absolute value of 2? 2. What is the absolute value of negative 100? If we started at 0 and we jumped to negative 100, our absolute value would be 100. What is the absolute value of 0? Well, if we start at 0, which we always do, and we don't go anywhere, the absolute value of 0 is just 0. Now here are absolute value problems with operations. So the first thing that you do is you find the absolute values. So the absolute value of negative 5 is 5. Bring down the operation, which in this case is addition. The absolute value of 2 is 2. 5 plus 2 is 7. Number 6. What is the absolute value of negative 10? Subtracting the absolute value of negative 1. So the absolute value of negative 10 is 10. Bring down the operation, which in this case is subtraction. And the absolute value of negative 1 is 1. So 10 minus 1 is 9. Okay, moving right along. The next two lessons, lesson 3.2 and 3.3, are adding and subtracting integers. Okay, adding and subtracting integers, we're going to use a number line. Now this topic is a little tricky, but I think that if you know the sign rules and certain rules, it should be a lot easier. It's a little confusing sometimes, so that's why using a graphic organizer and using a number line are very important. Now, one thing that you have to know is this. Let's just say we are adding, 1 plus 2. 1 plus 2. The first thing that you would do in this case, you would go to 1. Plus 2. 1, 2. We land at 3. In which direction did we go to add 2? To the right. Now, I wonder if I gave you 4 minus 2. Well, if you're at 4 and we're subtracting 2, 1, 2, we get 2. So in what direction did you go when you were subtracting? You were going to the left. So just to recap, when you add any numbers, you go to the right, towards the positive direction. When you subtract, you go to the left, towards the negative direction. Now, as far as positive and negative integers go, you're probably wondering, well, what's bigger and what's smaller? You have to think of temperature. Say this is a thermometer. Say we are somewhere that is cold, right? And on Monday, it's 5 degrees. And then say on Thursday, it's negative 5 degrees. What day did you like better? Did you like Monday when it was 5 degrees? Or did you like Thursday when it was negative 5 degrees? Now I'm assuming, but I do assume, that all of you would choose Monday, because 5 degrees would be hotter, in quotes, than negative 5. Now, say on Friday it went up to negative 3 degrees. Again, now let's choose between negative 3 and negative 5. Which day would you rather be in? Again, I'm assuming, but I'm assuming negative 3 on Friday, because negative 3 is, in quotes, warmer or hotter than negative 5. So, going back to the timeline, when you're going to the left, and again, think of temperature, when you're going to the left, the numbers are getting smaller. You're getting colder. Smaller. Numbers are getting smaller. Now, when you're going to the right, the numbers are getting larger. As you're going to the right, they're getting larger. So, if I'm at negative 3, which number is larger? Negative 2 or negative 4? Again, think of temperature. Which is larger? Well, if going to the right makes the numbers larger, to the right of negative 3 is negative 2. So I think what the issue is with positive and negative numbers is that it's just the opposite. You would think, okay, well, 3, what's larger? 4. So you probably think the same thing here. Well, negative 3, what's larger? Negative 4. But that's not true. It's the opposite. It's going the opposite way. Negative 4 is actually less than negative 3. Okay, before we get into examples, we have to know the sign rules, which we learned during class. A positive and a positive make a positive. A negative and a negative also make a positive. Whenever two signs are next to each other with no number in between, we take those signs and we turn them into one sign. When both signs are the same, positive, positive, it becomes a positive. They combine. Again, when the signs are the same, they're both negative, they become a positive. Now when the signs are different, such as a positive and a negative, a negative and a positive, it becomes a negative. The negative wins. The negative wins. Here, just the opposite. A positive and negative also becomes a negative. The negative always wins. Okay, let's start with these. 5 plus negative 2. Now before, when I showed you the sign rules, I said only when the signs are next to each other without a number in between, they can change to one sign. And what I was telling you guys is that they go into battle, positive and negative. Who wins in this battle? The negative. So the positive and negative turn into a negative. You bring down what's left. So now it becomes 5 minus 2, which is 3. Let's go to the next one. 10 minus a positive 3. Again, the signs are going into battle. Negative and positive. Negative wins, turns into a negative. Bring down the other numbers. Now it comes out to be 10 minus 3, which is 7. Next one, number 3. 20 minus a negative 4. Again, there's no number in between, so they go into battle. When the two negatives see each other, they decide to, you know what, let's turn positive. Bring everything else down. This becomes 20 plus 4, which is 24. Okay, so I'm not going to sing the song or anything, but we did listen to a song. What was his name? MC Santy, I think. And in his chorus, he said, same signs add, different signs subtract. Okay, so we're going to start with same signs add. Now, just regular addition, okay? Addition that you've been doing since, I don't even know, first, second, third grade. 2 plus 3. 2 is positive, right? Plus 3. Those numbers are both positive. If we start at 2, positive 2, and add 3, we go to the right. 1, 2, 3. We end up at what? Positive 5. But now let's look at this. And again, same signs add. We have negative 2 minus 3. Both numbers have a negative sign in front of them. And I know it's subtraction, but what it's saying is it's the direction you're going. You're going towards the negative direction when you subtract. So here, let's do this. Negative 2. If you're at negative 2 and you subtract 3, we're going to the left. 1, 2, 3. We end up at what? Negative 5. Now, the reason why it says same signs add is because you might not be able to use a number line if the numbers are really big. So, for example, say you had negative 20 minus 15. Well, we know that by looking at this example that we're going to the left. We're staying in negative land. There's no way that we're going to be in the positives. So, what's really happening is we're adding the numbers, but since we know that they're both in the negatives, we're in negatives, right? We're in negative 20, we're subtracting 15, we're going to the left, the numbers are getting smaller. If both of those signs are negative, then this answer is going to be negative. Okay, let's look at this one. Negative 5 minus 6. Okay, again, first we start at negative 5. We're subtracting 6, so we're going to the left. We always go to the left when we're subtracting. So we're going towards the negative direction. We're going to be staying in the negatives. So let's do that. Let's subtract 6. We're going to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We end up at negative 11. But what's positive 5, or just 5, plus 6? Regular addition. It's 11. It's positive 11. So if both of the signs are the same in front of the numbers, you're basically just adding them and then keeping the sign of what they were. Same signs add. Keep the sign. Okay, so we had if the signs were the same, but what about if the signs were different? Same signs add, different signs subtract. So let's look at a normal subtraction problem. 5 minus 2, which is really positive 5 minus 2. So if we go to 5, positive 5 on the number line, and we subtract 2, we're going to the left, right? 1, 2. We end up at positive 3. Now let's look at this one. It's the opposite. Instead of positive 5, I have negative 5. Instead of subtracting 2, I'm adding 2. Do you notice how the signs are different, right? So let's do that. We're at negative 5, and we're adding 2. So when we add, we go to the right. 1, 2. We end up at negative 3. That's interesting, because positive 3 and negative 3 are opposites. So how did that happen? Well, same signs add, different signs subtract. If you have a problem like this, that is opposite of something like this, which will happen, you subtract the numbers. So let's go on a new page. Negative 5 plus 2. Right? It's not 5 minus 2, it's negative 5 plus 2. If the signs are different in front of the numbers, we subtract. Now we always subtract from the bigger number. 5 minus 2 is 3. But now we ask ourselves, which number is bigger, 5 or 2? 5. Then we go back to the original problem and we look and see what sign is in front of that larger number, which is negative. So your answer is going to be negative. This is definitely something that needs to be practiced, and if you need to draw a number line to help you, you definitely should. But again, it's one of those things that needs to be practiced, and it's a hard concept to wrap around. But again, practice, practice, practice. Let's try some examples. Negative 10 minus a negative 3. Well, the first thing that we have to do is we have to change those two signs to one sign. They're going to battle. If there's no number in between them, we have to change. A negative and a negative makes a positive. Bring down the rest, negative 10 plus 3. Now, this is not 10 minus 3. This is negative 10 plus 3. Same signs add, different signs subtract. They're different. So we're going to subtract those numbers. 10 minus 3 is 7. What number's bigger, the 10 or the 3? The 10. What sign was in front of the 10? A negative. So our answer is going to be negative 7. Let's look at number 2. 6 minus positive 2. Again, the signs go into battle. A negative and a positive turn into a negative. Bring everything down. 6 minus 2. Okay, we can do that. 6 minus 2 is 4. Positive 4. Let's look at number 3. 3 plus negative 5. Signs go into battle. Positive and negative. Negative wins. Bring down the other numbers. Now we have 3 minus 5. It's not 5 minus 3, it's 3 minus 5. Right? Because this 3 is really positive. So the signs are different. Same signs add, different signs subtract. Okay. They're different, so let's subtract. And again, we have to subtract from the larger number. 5 minus 3 is 2. Which number is bigger, 5 or 3? 5. Which sign is in front of the 5 in the problem? Negative. So our answer is going to be negative 2. Let's look at this one. Negative 4 plus a negative 2. Signs go into battle. Negative wins. Bring down the other numbers. And please do not forget the negative there. Bring down the other number. Negative 4 minus 2. It's not 4 minus 2, it's negative 4 minus 2. Same signs add, different signs subtract. They have the same signs in front of them, so we add. 4 plus 2 is 6. Okay, same signs keep the sign. So if they're both negative, and you just have to picture this in your mind, if you're at negative 4 and you're going to the left, right, what's happening? Yeah, the numbers are getting smaller, right? But if you add them, it's just the opposite. So instead of positive 6, our answer is negative 6. So same sign. Okay, and the last topic is lesson 3.4 and 3.5, which is multiply and divide integers. Now, this is a lot more simple than adding and subtracting. So, multiply / divide, like normal, use the sign rules. Sign rules, positive, positive, it's positive. Negative, negative, it's a positive. Negative, positive, it's a negative. And positive, negative is a negative. Now I recommend that you write this as soon as you get your test on the side, okay, just so you can refer to something. So, for example, number 1, 3 times 2. Positive and a positive. All right, make a positive. 3 times 2 is 6. Negative 3 times 2. Well, 3 times 2 is 6. A negative and a positive make a negative. Negative 10 divided by negative 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2. A negative and a negative make a positive. Let's try a few more. Number 4, 100 divided by negative 25. Think of quarters. 100 divided by 25 is 4. A positive and a negative make a negative. 3 times negative 10. 3 times 10 is 30. Positive and a negative make a negative. Number 6, negative 36 divided by negative 9. 36 divided by 9 is 4. A negative and a negative make a positive.